Chassidic Parashat Beshalach, Chassidic insights on Parashat Beshalach, a journey through faith tradition. As we gather together to read Parashat Beshalach, we are transported into a powerful narrative that speaks to the core of our Jewish identity. This week's parasha is not just a historical account. It's a vibrant story filled with themes of liberation, divine care, and the deep relationship between God and His people. It recounts the miraculous crossing of the Red Sea and the gift of manna, both of which profoundly impacted the Israelites and continue to resonate in our lives today. Through the lens of Chassidic thought, we can explore these events more deeply, uncovering the rich traditions and insights that can guide us in our daily lives. The Song of the Sea, a celebration of freedom at the core of Parashat Beshalach, is the Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea. This vibrant song is sung by the Israelites as they celebrate their miraculous escape from slavery. It's a powerful expression of joy and gratitude, a moment when they recognize the profound transformation from oppression to freedom. Imagine standing at the edge of the sea, watching the waters part, and feeling the exhilaration as you step into the unknown. This song captures that moment perfectly. In our modern practice, we recite this beautiful hymn during the Sukkei de Zimra section of the Shacharit prayer. The Chazan leads us, and the congregation responds, creating a lively exchange that echoes the joy of that original moment. The Zohar teaches us that if we recite this song with genuine joy and intention, it can lead to forgiveness for our transgressions. This insight invites us to approach our prayers with a sense of celebration, reminding us that every prayer can be a heartfelt conversation with the divine. The imagery of crossing the sea serves as a powerful metaphor for our lives. It encourages us to trust in God's guidance, especially during challenging times. Even when we face difficulties, we can find hope and the potential for transformation. The Song of the Sea becomes a source of inspiration, urging us to hold on to our faith and remember that liberation is often just around the corner. Challah, a symbol of divine sustenance. As we prepare to welcome Shabbat, we recall the miraculous manna which the Israelites received in the desert. On Erev Shabbat, they were given a double portion known as leche mishneh. This is commemorated in our homes today by placing 2 challah on the Shabbat table. Covering the challah with a cloth is a beautiful custom that speaks to the way manna was provided, layered with dew, creating a sense of anticipation and wonder. These 2 challah symbolize not just the physical bread that nourishes us, but also the spiritual sustenance that feeds our souls. The white tablecloth beneath the challah represents the nurturing ground of creation, while the challah cover above evokes the protective embrace of heaven. When we say the blessings over the challah, we engage in a sacred act that connects us to our past and our faith. Furthermore, placing 2 challah on the table reminds us of abundance. In a world where scarcity often dominates our thoughts, this custom encourages us to cultivate gratitude and generosity. When we acknowledge the blessings in our lives, we create space for even more abundance to flow in. The essence of Shabbat meals. A taste of the divine, the Torah reminds us that the manna was different on Shabbat. It had a unique flavor and aroma. This idea extends beyond just the physical realm. It underscores the transformative nature of Shabbat. Likeh-mishuneh, or changed bread, suggests that Shabbat is a time when the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Shabbat is not just a day of rest. It's a sacred time filled with spiritual depth. The food we prepare and share on Shabbat is not merely for sustenance. It's an invitation to celebrate and connect with our loved ones. As we gather around the table, we create an atmosphere of love and warmth that reinforces our bonds. The meals we share become a joyful expression of our faith, a moment to reflect on our blessings and our connections to one another. Acts of kindness, honoring creation. Amid these miraculous events, we encounter the story of Dosan and Avram, who tried to undermine Moshe's leadership. They scattered manna early on Shabbat, hoping to prove that Moshe was wrong about the lack of manna that day. But their actions backfired. Birds swooped down to eat the scattered manna, illustrating the sanctity of Shabbat and the divine order of the universe. This beautiful story reminds us of our connection to all of creation. In gratitude for the birds' role in this miracle, a lovely custom has emerged, leaving food for them like buckwheat groats or leftovers from our Shabbat meals. This simple act of kindness not only honors the creatures around us but also embodies the spirit of sharing and joy that defines Shabbat. When we put out food for the birds after Havdalah, we witness their delight as they feast, and it warms our hearts. This gesture invites us to remember that every act of kindness, no matter how small, contributes to a more compassionate world. It emphasizes our responsibility to care for the environment and all living beings. Conclusion: embracing our living tradition. As we explore the teachings and customs derived from Parashat Beshalach, we discover layers of meaning that resonate with our lives today. Each custom, whether it's the joyous recitation of the Song of the Sea, the sacredness of our chalo, the essence of our Shabbat meals, or the kindness shown to birds, invites us to engage with our faith in deeper ways. These rituals and stories remind us that our Jewish tradition is alive and vibrant, offering us tools to navigate our lives with faith, gratitude, and connection. As we reflect on these insights, may we be inspired to bring more joy into our daily lives, strengthen our bonds with family and community, and foster a deeper appreciation for the blessings we receive each day. Through our shared traditions, we can cultivate a sense of belonging and purpose, drawing closer to our roots and to one another in this beautiful journey of life. The healing touch of faith, a personal journey through belief and restoration in a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming. The intersection of faith and healing can offer a sense of hope and comfort that many of us seek. Throughout history, people have turned to their spiritual beliefs in times of distress, whether that be illness, emotional turmoil, or life's inevitable challenges. This connection between faith and healing is beautifully illustrated in the narratives found in sacred texts, particularly in Judaism's Book of Shemos. Within these passages lies a rich tapestry of stories that remind us of the power of belief, the possibility of divine intervention, and the holistic nature of what it means to heal. Imagine for a moment the Israelites wandering through the vast wilderness. They are a people who have just escaped slavery, yet now they find themselves facing a new set of challenges. In their journey, they arrive at a place called Marah, only to discover that the water there is bitter and undrinkable. Their desperation is palpable as they cry out to Moshe for help. This scene is more than just a historical account. It speaks to the universal human experience of feeling lost and seeking guidance when faced with adversity. Moshe in this moment becomes more than just a leader. He becomes a bridge between his people and Hashem. His response to their cries is not one of despair but of action. He turns to the divine for guidance, illustrating a profound truth we often overlook. When we are at our lowest, turning to faith can be a powerful lifeline. Hashem instructs Moshe to throw a tree into the bitter waters, and in doing so the waters transform from undrinkable to sweet. This act is symbolic of a deeper reality, the idea that our struggles can be transformed through faith. Just as those bitter waters became sweet, so too can the challenges we face in life be softened through our belief and trust in something greater than ourselves. Rabbeinu Ephraim, a sage from centuries past, adds another layer to this narrative by suggesting that the tree Moshe used originated from the Garden of Eden. This connection symbolizes purity, life, and the potential for renewal. When we contemplate this tree, we are reminded that healing is not just about physical remedies. It also involves a spiritual dimension that invites us to connect with our deepest selves and the world around us. It's a gentle nudge to remember that the healing we seek often resides within our faith and our willingness to embrace it. This idea is echoed in the teachings of Chaim David Azulai, known as the Cheetah. He highlights the wisdom found in ancient texts about healing, emphasizing that true healing comes from a relationship with Hashem rather than solely relying on physical remedies. Imagine the power in that thought, that healing is not just a matter of taking medication or undergoing treatment, but rather an invitation to cultivate a deeper connection with the divine. It encourages us to look beyond the surface of our struggles and consider the spiritual journey that accompanies our healing process. The narrative of manna, as described in Shemos 16:15, further illustrates this point. When the Israelites first encounter this miraculous food, they are confused and unsure of what it is. Moshe reassures them that it is the bread given by Hashem. The connection between the Hebrew word for manna, man, and imuna, which means faith, is striking. It's as if the very sustenance they need is intertwined with their belief. When we think about it, how often do we find hope and nourishment in our own lives when we lean into our faith, especially during challenging times? The manna serves as a reminder that our spiritual sustenance is just as vital as the physical nourishment we seek. Moreover, the communal aspect of faith healing cannot be understated. There's something incredibly powerful about coming together as a community, sharing our burdens, and lifting each other up in prayer. When we unite in our faith, our collective hopes and intentions create a ripple effect that can transform not just individual lives but entire communities. We are reminded that we are not alone in our struggles. There is a support network of friends, family, and fellow believers who are there to walk alongside us. In today's world, many individuals still turn to their spiritual beliefs during times of illness or emotional hardship. There's a growing recognition that healing is a multifaceted journey that encompasses not only the mind and body but also the spirit. Many healthcare providers are beginning to understand the importance of addressing emotional and spiritual needs alongside physical treatment. It's as if we are beginning to rediscover the wisdom of ancient teachings that emphasized the interconnectedness of our entire being. As we reflect on these timeless narratives and teachings, we are reminded that faith has the power to heal, not just our bodies but also our hearts and minds. It encourages us to seek a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. In moments of despair, may we find solace in our beliefs, and may we remember that healing often comes not just from medical interventions, but from nurturing our faith and connecting with the divine. Ultimately, the journey of faith healing is one of hope, transformation, and community. It invites us to embrace the sweetness that can emerge from the bitterness of life. As we navigate our own challenges, let us remember the teachings that encourage us to seek healing through faith and connection. In doing so, we open ourselves to the possibility of transformation, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. It is a journey worth taking, a journey that reminds us of the beauty and power of belief in the face of adversity. The sweetness and beauty of Shabbos meals. A culinary and spiritual journey. Shabbos, the Jewish Sabbath, is more than just a day of rest. It is a cherished time that offers a break from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. It's a day that invites us to pause, reflect, and reconnect, not only with ourselves, but also with our loved ones and our heritage. At the heart of this sacred day lies the Shabbos meal, a gathering that nourishes body and soul, filled with warmth, laughter, and love. A warm invitation to share and celebrate as the sun begins to set on Friday evening. A sense of anticipation fills the air. Families gather, candles are lit, and the Shabbos spirit begins to envelop the home. The act of lighting the Shabbos candles is more than a simple ritual. It's like opening the door to a warm embrace, welcoming in a sense of peace and tranquility. The flickering flames symbolize the light of the divine, illuminating the space and creating an atmosphere ripe for connection and joy. The centerpiece of this experience is often the challah, the beautifully braided bread that graces the table. Its sweet aroma wafts through the air, inviting everyone to come closer. As families gather around the table, there's an unspoken understanding that this meal is not just about the food. It's about the love and effort that went into preparing it. The challah, with its soft, pillowy texture, becomes a tangible representation of the sweetness of Shabbos, a reminder of the blessings that come from sharing and community, a feast of traditions and togetherness. The Shabbos table is a vibrant display of culinary delights, each dish telling a story of tradition, care, and family history. From savory roasts to colorful salads, the meal is a feast for the senses. As the aroma of fresh cooked food fills the home, it sparks conversations and laughter, drawing family members into a lively exchange of stories and memories. Preparing a Shabbos meal is often a family affair. Children may help knead the dough or set the table. learning not just how to cook but also the values of patience and gratitude. In the kitchen, the clattering of pots and pans mingles with joyful chatter, creating a symphony of sounds that echo the spirit of togetherness. It's a time when generations come together, sharing not just recipes but also the wisdom and love passed down through the years. When the meal finally begins, there's a palpable sense of joy in the air. Each bite is savored not just for its flavor but for the love and intention behind it. The Shabbos meal becomes a sanctuary where worries fade and the focus shifts to the simple pleasures of good food and good company. Here around the table we share our triumphs and challenges, our hopes and dreams, weaving a tapestry of connection that strengthens our bonds. The heart of faith and friendship, the Shabbos meal is more than just a time to eat. It's a celebration of faith, friendship, and the values that bind us together. It's a moment to pause and acknowledge the blessings we often take for granted. The teachings of Shabbat remind us of the importance of gratitude and community, encouraging us to appreciate the abundance in our lives. As we gather, we reflect on the week that has passed, sharing not only our successes but also the struggles we've faced. This vulnerability fosters deeper connections, allowing us to support one another in times of need. The Shabbos table becomes a safe haven where we can express our feelings freely without judgment, knowing that we are surrounded by love. In these meals, we also find opportunities to teach our children about the values of kindness and generosity. The act of inviting friends or neighbors to join us around the table reinforces the idea that the blessings we receive are meant to be shared. It's a lesson in community, one that transcends the dinner table and resonates throughout our lives. A transformative experience. Shabbos is a day that rejuvenates the soul, providing a much-needed break from the chaos of daily life. The meals shared during this time become moments of transformation, where the ordinary is infused with the extraordinary. As we sit together, the world outside fades away and we are enveloped in a sense of peace and belonging. Each Shabbos meal is a reminder to be present, to savor not just the food but the moments we share. In a world filled with distractions, the act of gathering around the table encourages us to slow down, to look one another in the eye, and to truly listen. It's an opportunity to reconnect with our loved ones and to strengthen the ties that bind us. A legacy of love. The legacy of Shabbos meals extends far beyond the dinner table. It is a tradition that binds generations together, creating a sense of continuity and belonging. Recipes are passed down, stories are shared, and the values of our ancestors become woven into the fabric of our lives. As children learn the rituals and participate in the preparation, they gain a sense of pride in their heritage. They come to understand that they are part of a larger narrative, one that spans centuries and connects them to their roots. This legacy is not just about food, it's about love, community, and the importance of honoring our past while looking forward to the future. In conclusion, the Shabbos meal is a beautiful blend of culinary delights and spiritual nourishment. It is a time when families gather to celebrate their shared history, to create new memories, and to reinforce the bonds of love and friendship. As we break bread together, we are reminded of the sweetness of life and the profound beauty found in connection both with one another and with the divine. Living by faith, a journey of trust and connection in the realm of spiritual stories, few tales resonate as deeply as that of our Zusha of Anipoli. His life embodies a relationship with the divine that is both simple and profound, reminding us of the beauty of faith and the importance of trust in our everyday lives. Our Zusha's story is not just about rituals or religious obligations. It's about the human experience of seeking connection, sustenance, and meaning in a world that often feels uncertain. To fully grasp what our Zusha's life teaches us, we must consider the time in which he lived. It was a period rife with challenges, where communities faced hardship and uncertainty. Daily life was often a struggle, and faith emerged as a comforting refuge, a space where individuals could turn to something greater than themselves. For our Zusha, his morning prayers were a vital part of his day. They were not just a routine, they were a heartfelt conversation with God, a way of expressing his vulnerability and dependence on a higher power. When he would call out, "Master of the world," Zusha is very hungry and desires to eat something. It was more than a request for food. It was an acknowledgement of his needs, both physical and spiritual, and a reminder that he wasn't alone in facing them. The story takes a turn when Ar Zusha's attendant, embodying a more skeptical view of the world, decides to test his faith. This moment of doubt reflects a common struggle we all face: the desire for proof, for something tangible to cling to in moments of uncertainty. The attendant's choice to withhold food from Ar Zusha serves as a challenge, raising an important question. Can faith stand strong even when circumstances seem dire? Can we trust in the unseen even when our immediate reality tells us otherwise? As Ar Zusha makes his way to the mikveh, he encounters makahari from a stranger who calls him an itinerant and causes him to fall into the mud. In that moment, instead of reacting with anger or frustration, Ar Zusha displays remarkable grace. He doesn't lash out, he simply accepts the moment as it is, embodying patience and resilience. This response speaks volumes about his character and the depth of his trust in God. While the stranger finds momentary amusement in his actions, he is quickly confronted with the realization of who Ar Zusha truly is, a humble man, worthy of respect and dignity. This interaction serves as a powerful reminder that the world may overlook the humble and the faithful, but there is a higher awareness that is always watching. When the stranger, filled with remorse, seeks to make amends, it becomes a pivotal moment in the narrative. The innkeeper, witnessing this exchange, suggests that the stranger offer Ar Zusha cakes and schnapps as an act of reconciliation. This is not just about food, it symbolizes the healing power of faith and the interconnectedness of our lives. Ar Zusha's practice of calling out to the heavens invites others into a deeper understanding of grace and compassion. The stranger's willingness to approach Ar Zusha with humility and offer his apology illustrates how faith can inspire acts of kindness and connection, bridging gaps between people. As Ar Zusha continues his morning ritual, unaware of the unfolding drama, his call to the heavens remains sincere. Master of the world, Zusha is very hungry and desires to eat something. Meanwhile, the attendant stands nearby, arms crossed, skeptical of Ar Zusha's unwavering faith. He waits, convinced that Ar Zusha will be left hungry and alone. Yet in an unexpected twist, the stranger enters with a plate of cakes and a bottle of schnapps, fulfilling Ar Zusha's unspoken call. This moment is not just a coincidence. It is a testament to the miraculous ways in which faith can manifest in our lives. As the stranger presents his offerings, he falls to the ground, filled with remorse, and begs Zusha for forgiveness. This authentic moment of vulnerability is palpable, and Ar Zusha, embodying compassion and grace, forgives him wholeheartedly. This encounter is a powerful reminder that living by faith can inspire profound transformations, not just within ourselves but also in those around us. It shows us that a single act of humility can create ripples of understanding and connection, reminding us that we are all part of a larger story. For the attendant, witnessing this exchange becomes a transformative moment. As he observes the interaction between Ar Zusha and the stranger, he begins to grasp that divine providence is not just a theoretical concept. It is a living reality that can unfold in everyday life. He realizes that it is indeed the Master of the world who provides for Ar Zusha, a truth that challenges his previous skepticism and encourages him to reconsider his own understanding of faith. Today, Ar Zusha's story holds a timeless relevance that resonates deeply in our lives. In a world that often emphasizes self-sufficiency and material success as the highest achievements, his narrative invites us to rethink the essence of faith as a guiding principle. Living by faith does not mean relinquishing our personal responsibility. Rather, it encourages us to engage with the complexities of life and trust that, even in moments of uncertainty, we are supported by something greater than ourselves. To live by faith is to acknowledge our needs, both physical and spiritual, and to trust that we are not alone on this journey. It is about embracing vulnerability, recognizing our limitations, and surrendering to the flow of life while knowing that divine grace is always present. Just as Ar Zusha called out to the heavens each morning, we too are encouraged to lift our hearts, seek connection with the divine, and trust that our needs will be met in ways we may not always see. In conclusion, the story of Ar Zusha of Anipoli serves as a beautiful reminder that living by faith is an art, a delicate balance of trust, humility, and openness to the sacred moments of our lives. It calls us to step beyond our doubts and embrace a life enriched by the belief that divine providence is always at work, guiding us through the ups and downs of existence. As we navigate our own paths, may we find the courage to reach out to the heavens, to share our hunger, and to live with the assurance that we are cared for by the Master of the world. In doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also inspire those around us to embark on their own journeys of faith, fostering a community grounded in trust, compassion, and love.